Definition of a holy swan, Murli of January 6, 1990. Today, the Father's the ocean of knowledge is seeing the gathering of the holy swans. Holy swans are souls with cleanliness and specialties. Cleanliness means purity in
thoughts, words, action,
actions, and
connections.
relationships, everything. The color white is always shown as a sign of purity. You holy swans are one with white clothing and a clean heart. That is, you are embodiments of cleanliness. So that is why we wear white clothes. A subset of that is we died alive from the impurity of the impure world. So we wear white. You say, yeah, but I don't need to wear white grossly to remind myself of that. Yes, you do. How often do you forget you're a pure soul? Yeah. Should you need that clothing to convince you? No, but you forget, so you wear white clothes. So you can remember you should wear white clothes unless it's absolutely frowned upon by the work that you do. You holy swans are ones with the white clothing and a clean heart. That is, you are embodiments of cleanliness. Constantly be without a flaw in body, mind, and heart. It is said, first of all, keep the mind clean. The Lord is pleased with those who have a clean mind and a clean heart. This is why you Brahman souls are called holy swans. So you hear cleanliness and purity are very connected. And then he just brought in, with respect to the heart, the mind, he said, honest. Okay, so cleanliness, purity, honesty, all very closely related. If you tell a lie, there's a serious impurity because honesty is way out there into the expression, manifestation. So if you tell lies, half-truths, partial truths, are not forthright, then that is due to a serious impurity problem. Lying is a problem, right? That's why you got to give your true chart to Bubba. And it takes you a while to figure out how to give a true chart. So you got to work very hard at that. Complete purity and cleanliness is everyone's aim at the confluence stage. This is why you Brahmins who are to become deities are remembered as those who are completely pure. It is not simply said viceless, but it is said completely viceless. It is said 16 celestial degrees. It is not only said 16 celestial degrees, but 16 celestial degrees, complete, full. It is said with that. It is your deity form that is praised, but when did you become that? You are praised because of being full. During your Brahmin life or your deity life, when did you become that? The time now, the confluence age is the time to become that. Therefore, check to what extent that is, to what percentage you've imbibed cleanliness, that is purity of body, mind, thoughts, relationships. Cleanliness of the body means constantly to have the awareness of the body being the temple of the soul and to keep it clean with that awareness. The more elevated the idol is, the more elevated the temple is. So you become more and more aware of dirtiness, of being dirty. So you shower every day. These are our dharnas, right? You shower after bowel movements if you're going to go to the kitchen, or if you're outside, you can't. So then you come home and you do that after work. So most people take showers twice a day, at least, right? And then you wash your hands before cooking food, right? You know, these are simple things. Most of you know them and follow them. So the more elevated the idol is, the more elevated the temple is. So are you ordinary idols or elevated idols? So the degree of your cleanliness of your body, your mind, and your thoughts, words, actions, that will be the degree that your devotees keep your temple clean. Compared to Brahmins, deities are as valuable as gold, whereas Brahmins are as valuable as diamonds. If you've gone to many temples in India, you'll see some of them are really dirty. But if you go to the Lakshmi Narayan temple, the red marble one in Delhi, wow, that's way cleaner. They're not perfectly clean, but boy, the standard is way higher. So how elevated you have become, recognize your self-respect. So part of self-respect is to keep the body clean, to keep the temple clean, constantly clean. It should be simple, yet clean. Purity of the body through this method will constantly bring the experience of spiritual fragrance. To what extent have you imbibed such cleanliness and purity? There's no cleanliness in body consciousness whatsoever. Okay, any body consciousness is impurity. If you know your body conscious, then you have impurity. So why are you claiming, justifying, trying to be so pure and, pointing out the defects and impurity of other people? However, you consider it to be the temple of the soul. You therefore keep it clean. And that temple has been given to you by the Father to look after and use. He has made you a trustee of that temple. You have given your mind, body, wealth, everything, have you not? It is not yours any longer. So just mine is
Body conscious.
impurity, body conscious. Would you say it is mine or it is yours? Mera or terra? By becoming trustees, you automatically become free from attachment or bring about cleanliness and purity in yourself. So, especially when you're new, this is why you ask. Why? Because you don't know the standard of purity. So how do you know if what you're doing is truly following all the dharnas? So after a while, you come to know the dharnas, and then hopefully you're following them, right? But therefore, you ask about different things, right? In the same way, also maintain the percentage of cleanliness, that is purity in your mind. If there's any type of impure thought in your mind during the day, it cannot be called complete cleanliness. Bhavtada's direction for the mind is focus your mind on me. Use it for world service. Even that's a kind of cleanliness, right? To benefit people with your mind. So always have the awareness of the mantra of what mind? Man manava pancha. This is known as cleanliness and or purity of the mind. If the mind wanders towards anyone else, anyone, for any reason, then that wandering means
Impurity.
wandering is due to lack of cleanliness. A wandering mind, just your mind getting distracted, pulled, influenced, that is always due to impurity, subtle desire. Okay, or fear, but mostly desire. Check with this method to see to what percentage you truly imbibe cleanliness. You know the details of this, do you not? The third aspect is cleanliness but part of the mind isn't just thoughts, it's also the heart.
Mhm.
You know that honesty means cleanliness. Honesty is cleanliness. So every time I point out to you where you haven't been honest, you should be so happy because your aim is, I want to get rid of all my dishonesty and become pure. So why is that waffling, uncomfortable feeling there? Maybe you don't really want to become pure when it comes to that sanskar, right? Because when you hear the bad news that you're being dishonest, you should be like jumping for joy inside because, oh my God, I didn't realize I had that impurity in me. Thanks so much for helping me get rid of it. That's not what you do. What do?
Go into uncomfortable mode.
And then from there you go into, oh, this doesn't feel so good. I'm being exposed, I'm vulnerable. And then what do?
Rationalize.
You rationalize and justify.
Mm.
Instead of being honest about the feeling you now have, which is called, I don't feel so comfortable right now, which is fear. Put your self-progress, that is your effort, whatever it is, honestly in front of Baba. So firstly, there is cleanliness in your own efforts. Secondly, to the extent which you are doing service with a true heart. So honesty in effort, honesty in service. And so there should be cleanliness in this aspect. If you're doing service with any selfish motive, it cannot therefore be called
Service.
Clean.
one word missing in service,
Selfless service.
true service. So to what extent are there honesty and cleanliness both in service? Some of you think we have to do service anyway, just as when elected government officers have to do their duties, whether they do it with a true heart, with carelessness, or out of compulsion, they somehow have to pass those 8 hours. In the same way, if you think that this service is a duty you've been given by the almighty authority government, for you to do service in this consciousness is not called true service. I have to, I'm compelled to, I'm obliged to, it's my duty. That's not pure service because there's no pure feelings in the attitude. It's not just a duty or just ignoring doing service, not doing as much service. Every day you have to be doing service. So check in this way to what percentage you have done service with a true heart, That is with the original sanskars of Brahman life. You have had so many melas, you have been given so many courses, but what is the percentage of cleanliness and purity in that? It is not just your duty to do service, but it is your original sanskar to benefit others, to give to others. Your original dharma, and your original karma. So it is your original sanskar, your original dharma, and your original karma, right? All our actions were beneficial in Golden Age. The fourth aspect is cleanliness in relationships. In essence, especially check this, to what percentage is there cleanliness in the form of contentment? If you're not content, it's because there's something impure inside that you can't identify. Throughout the day, there are relationships with a variety of souls. You come into connection with three types of relationships. First, the Brahmin family. Second, those who are students. Thirdly, your Lokik families. In all three types of relationships, what was your percentage of contentment with the self and those souls who came into connection with you throughout your whole day? The sign of your contentment is that you yourself will feel light in mind and remain happy, and that the others will also remain happy with you. The sign of discontentment is you will be heavy in your mind. If you are a true effort maker, then the thought will repeatedly keep entering your mind, the waste thought, the negative thought, even against your conscious wish. I should not have said this. It would have been better if I hadn't done this. It would have been better to say this or to do this. Careless effort makers will not have such thoughts. Regret in your thoughts. They have no problem being honest, so they have no regret. But just because you have no regret doesn't mean you're being honest, hence suppression denial. This burden will not allow you to remain happy. It will not allow you to remain light. Cleanliness in relationships means contentment. So if you don't have purity of action, purity of heart, feelings, intention, purity of vision, you know you have great impurity in you, and therefore you are incurring burden of sin. This is why you people say, one who is true dances. You are remembered as those. If there isn't cleanliness of truth, then although you are swans, you're not holy swans. You are remembered as those who are complete and perfect, so check to what extent you have become that. If today, according to the drama, the account with your body were to be completed, with what percentage would you pass? With conquering the impurity of the body's influence on your mind. What degree would you pass? Or would you tell the drama to just wait a little longer? You are not sitting here with the thought that the young ones will not depart, are you? Not die. What is the meaning of being ever ready? Does it mean to wait for time in anticipation and think that there are 10 or 11 years still left? And mostly, you think that there is time up to the year 2000. Everyone thought destruction was coming at Y2K. The question of the destruction of the world is separate from that of keeping yourself ever ready. Therefore, do not mix these two together. Different souls have different parts. Therefore, do not think that you do not have a part in the advanced party or that you have a part after destruction. Some souls do have that part, but you should remain ever ready because you don't know for sure you're going to have that part. So make maximum effort now while you're here. However, don't live on the basis of that. This is what it means to be holy swans. You have come to the shore of the ocean of knowledge, have you not? So today you have been told about cleanliness of holy swans. Baba will tell you about their specialties another time. Let's just stop there. So, rationalize and justification is to hide, deny, cover up some aspect of impurity of mind, body, wealth, or relationship.